honey ginger stir fry. Absolutely delicious. Of course, have to put some ginger in, so I think we'll probably put about maybe 1, maybe 2 teaspoons of ginger in there, since it's ginger beef. Now we're going to add about, I think about a teaspoon or a bit of mixed garlic. This jar's nearly empty, so we'll put what we can get. Probably 1 and a bit we can get in there. So we've got the ginger, and we've got the beef, and we've got the garlic. Now we're going to add a bit of soy. You won't be adding any salt to the dish because soy contains very, very salty. So this is for a marinade. What I'll be doing with this is adding a bit of honey in a second, and I'll mix it around, and I'll put it in the fridge to marinate for 2 or 3 hours. Now you won't notice the little bit of plastic down underneath the meat, which I forgot about, but I secretly then cut the video, and you come back and you think it was never there. Alright, have a look at this. The honey goes on and then bang, gone. Magic of television. So I'm going to mix it all in. It's got good quantities of honey, ginger, garlic and soy. Nothing else at the moment, that's all it is. It's going to marinate in the fridge probably about 3 hours. I like to leave it even overnight sometimes, but 3 hours is plenty. I obviously didn't think that was enough soy, so I'm putting a bit more in there. So we're pretty close to mixing it all the way through. With any marinade, you can sort of mix your flavours in straight away, and you could cook this now if you wanted to, but I just know that it just goes through the meat a lot better even overnight, even 2 or 3 days. It wouldn't hurt it. Anyone that's done rubs or things like that for meat, you know that you can do that for 1, even 2 days. Let it macerate and let it all soak in. So I'm going to put a bit of plastic over this, and then just put this back in the fridge. Probably no need to do anything else other than do that. Put it straight in the fridge. So again, by the magic of video, I'm going to show you a mix that I use in lots of Chinese stir fries. This is going to be a couple of teaspoons of corn flour, and those that are in the know that all you need to do is add 1 teaspoon of cumin. Now that means you have a mix which tastes like, if you ever had chow mein, that's what the combination of those two. And you could put a little bit of, if you're going to make a chow mein, I'd put in probably half a teaspoon of chicken stock powder as well. But this is just for the beef stir fry to add a bit of depth and flavour to it. So mixing this up prior to cooking, just mix it up and leave it sit somewhere. Doesn't need to go in the fridge. Just leave that aside for now, and then you come back to it. Now I'm going to put not only vegetables but noodles. Now you can buy these are just a standard noodle, you've all seen them. I'm taking 1 packet out. We've got about a pound of meat and about a pound of vegetables going, so 1 of these packet of noodles is more than enough. You can over noodle it sometimes. Right, here's the vegetables. It's a mixture: carrot, it's got onion, it's got a bit of pepper in there, and bean, and that's going to be the first thing that I actually cook. A lot of people go the other way around. I like to cook the vegetables to 3/4. I still like a bit of bite in my veggies even when I'm done. So in goes the olive oil. You can be quite generous with this. This is not a wok. You could use a wok if you wanted to. Because I made quite a large quantity, I put it in this pan. I've got a wok, it's a bit smaller, but it was a fairly big combination to put together for my small wok. So in goes the oil. Just a little bit of ginger and a bit of garlic's going to go in here, and that's going to add to the flavour. I'm going to sort of replicate the flavours I put into the meat, you know, ginger, garlic, a little bit of honey in there as well, and a bit of soy. So what does that mean? Well, that means I'm going to get a replication of exactly the same flavours that are going to be into the meat. They're going to be combined. There's no need to fight the flavours. So in go the veggies, and he's brave, he's stuck his hand in there. Man must be made of steel. No, I have actually. Most cooks have got hands that can take a fair bit of heat. So I'm just going to mix in the garlic and the oil and the veggies, and what that's going to give me is a combination. We're going to let them basically fry. Doesn't take long. I think from the beginning to the end it'll be about 4 or 5 minutes doing the veggies. That's about a minute or so later. I'm just again to stir them around. With a wok you can get that big flick with the wrist and it looks really fancy. Hey, look at that, see? Similar, but you know what I mean. So again, this is about a 3 or 4 minute process. Now I'm adding a little bit of soy. Again, this is the combination of what went into the meat marinade. And I'll probably put, like I say, a little bit of honey on top of this, just a bit. We don't need to saturate this. So what you're looking at the moment is vegetables that are about halfway cooked. And of course, when I set them aside, they'll keep cooking. It's not as if food goes cold straight away. So this won't be too much longer. And I'll be taking this out and putting it into a bowl, just to sit there while I then start the meat off. But that's ready now. That's about four minutes into the actual cooking of the vegetables, and that's enough. So let's put them into a bowl. That's about a pound of mixed veggies that have been stir fried. Put the same pan back onto the high heat, and a bit more olive oil. And now we're going to start the process with the meat. This has come out of the fridge. And again, no matter when you cook any sort of meat, you want a bit of a sizzle. And that's what that did as soon as it hit the pan. It's sizzling away. And it's very finely cut, good quality beef. If you're going to have a stir fry, get some nice beef. Depends what you can afford. If not, find something on the side of the road and use it. Doesn't matter, it'll all taste good in the end. So this needs, again, this is a process of time. You'll probably see this is now flicked on about another 2 minutes later. And you'll see it doesn't take long when you've got good quality beef to cook it. So we're nearly halfway cooked there for sure. And what I do now is this is a process where you could go and cook it all the way through, but this is nearly cooked, but it's still cooking as you're doing things to the actual dish. So I'm ready now to move on to the next step, which is to add other things to it. And things move quite quickly when you're at this stage. The meat is ready. I'm putting in that mix of corn flour and cumin, and it's a thickening basis as well, but it's a flavour base. And for me, cooking is all about flavour. And you can vary it. You can do all sorts of things with your cooking. You can have one way to do one thing, and the next time you do it, you can do it differently. It doesn't really matter. So that's now making whatever the maceration of all the juices, the ginger, the garlic, and the honey, and the soy, with the combination of corn flour, cumin, it's starting to make a beautiful, rich sauce. Now, what I like to do is to add some cashews. I love cashews in ginger beef. Some people don't. If you don't like them, don't put them in. Post them to me, and I'll eat them for you. So again, this is not a long process. Now, I would eat the meat straight out of that pan now. I'm more than happy with that being ready. So in goes the vegetables, which again are, still a bit of bite in them. They're not like raw, and they're certainly not soggy and cooked, but they've got a bit of bite. And if you've ever had a stir fry, you don't want soggy vegetables. It really isn't the way to go. So with this process, like I say, you're seeing this now suddenly gone from just being a pan full of meat, and we've added the addition of the cumin and the corn flour mix. That's gone in. The cashews have gone in. It's all sort of happening quite quickly. The vegetables have gone in. So now we're just going to put in that small packet of noodles that we got. And like I say, the whole process is really fast now. If you wound back the actual video and saw when I had the meat nearly ready, all of a sudden you've got a dish happening within a couple of minutes. So all I'll do now is I'll basically just take it in a bit closer so you can see, and I'm going to turn this over and mix in the noodles with everything else. And my mouth watering again because this tasted absolutely sensational. So that's really it. There's not much to making a stir fry. It's all about quality ingredients. If you buy cheap, tough meat, you're going to have a very tough stir fry. And you don't need to make it as, I love the flavours through here, so I add more liquid than most people. In the end, I'm just going to add a touch of pepper because it doesn't need any salt because of all the soy. And my wife loves the chicken chili sweet sauce, so I put a bit of that in. and then she puts a bit more on top of her plate when she has her dinner. So again, this is a layer of flavour. Don't have to do it. You could even add hot. You could add paprika during the process, or even chili powder. It's up to you. But we're there now. Meat's cooked, veggies are beautifully, they're not soggy, they've got a bite in them, the noodles have added to the texture of the meal, and we're ready to plate up. So that's really it. There's not much to it when it comes to plating up. If you're like me, you'll make a mess everywhere, but it still tastes good. You know, when you make a mess and you flip things out the side of the plate, doesn't matter, it still tastes good. So this is one of these things that you can experiment with. You'll make mistakes if you've never done this before, and very shortly you'll become a master of it. You'll be sending me videos, and I'm no master. I just love cooking, and I love the flavour of food. So that's it. Nothing special. Grab a pair of chopsticks or a fork, and if you have been, thank you very much for watching.